to revisit anything or you have questions, you can replay this and, take a look over it later. So no biggie. So first and foremost, hello and welcome to our Student Success webinar. So this is the Student Success webinar for Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College. Try saying that 3 times fast, right? If we have not met yet, my name is Kim. I am your Student Success Coordinator, and I am your guide through all things NEO. So our goal today is going to be learning some tips and tricks for being the best student you can be and how to be successful as an online student with NEO. It's a little scary at first, but I promise you guys are going to love it. Feel free to jot down some notes, like I said, if you want to, if that helps you with your memory. I know I have to do that. But if you have any questions or anything like that, you can type them in the chat box as we go along, or we're going to save some time at the end as well. So first things first, we're going to start with a little video. And that's just because I love all things Disney. If you haven't learned that about me yet, you will. I am a Disney nerd, so if you have not seen Monsters University, hello, it is on Disney Plus. You, your kids, your mom, anybody, they will love it. It's one of my favorites. So we're going to start with a little, it's only like a minute long. But I wanted to share this because I think it sends a really good message for students starting college. And you guys are just that, starting college on Monday. So let's watch this and see what we think after. Okay, so that was just a cute little video, but I think it's important because it sends a good message, right? We're not successful right off the bat, right? Nobody's just born successful, like, oh, you're just great at everything, as much as I may try. But we need to work hard, we need to practice, and ask for help when we need it. That's what I'm here for. So you can totally achieve success, but it's just not going to come naturally. Take it from Mike Wazowski. He had to go and compete in the scare games and study and all that good stuff, and you can see at the end he made it into Monsters Inc. So if you haven't seen Monsters Inc., spoiler alert, he makes it. So before classes start, we want to make sure these 3 things are taken care of. So first, we want to make sure we've completed the financial aid process. So that means completing the FAFSA. You should have already done that with the help of your enrollment counselor, but if not, let's just add it to our to-do list for the next couple days. Next thing is meet with your academic advisor. So if you're a business student, if you're studying marketing, anything like that, you're going to meet with Joy. If you're any other major, pre-nursing, general studies, psychology, any of that good stuff, Amy is going to be your go-to girl. So your academic advisor is basically the person who is going to help you create your schedule and register for classes, make sure that we are set up for success. And she is actually at the NEO campus. So Amy and Joy are important ladies to meet with if you have questions or concerns. And then finally is ordering textbooks. So most of you should not have any physical textbooks to order just yet, but this is just something we want to get in the habit of doing at the beginning of every single semester. And I'm going to show you how to order them, so no worries at all. So great. Check, check, check. Boom. We're doing it all. We're awesome. So if you got these 3 things done, then you can sit back, relax, and enjoy until Monday, because that's when the real fun begins. Speaking of textbooks, the most important thing that we need to know going into this is that we need to, anytime a new semester becomes available to order textbooks, we want to order them as early as possible. There is a window where you can charge to your financial aid. That is a very small window. So it's important to make sure that if you do have physical books or you want physical books, that we order them nice and early. The other thing to think about is the type of book that you're going to order. So some books are going to be a physical copy, right? We can pick it up, hold it, read it, highlight it to our heart's content. Some books are going to be ebook. So you may have to order those and you can put them on a Kindle or if you download an app on your phone or even just on the internet, you can access that ebook. The third type of book is called an inclusive access. So basically, what that means is everything is already built into the course for you. So you'll be able to access all the readings, all the assignments right in the classroom. You don't have to worry about ordering anything. Those are my favorite type. But I like physical and ebooks too, because sometimes it's nice to have that just to reference and read through as you go. Some people love to take notes in the margins of their books and they'll order a textbook instead of getting the ebook. And that, it's just personal preference. And it does depend on what the NEO bookstore's website is offering. So you can check that out actually at this link right here, bookstore.neo.edu/college. When the time comes for books to be available to order, I will let you know. I'll always send an email with a little YouTube video that you can reference so you can make sure you're ordering your books on time, you're getting them, all that good stuff. It's really, really easy, honestly. You won't have anything to stress about. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, so this is what you're going to see when you have to go order books. So like I said, it's really, really easy. All you do, it's going to ask you what term. So Monday, we start the summer term. So let's just say you had to order books for Monday. The first thing you want to look at is your schedule to determine the course and the course reference number. So let's look at, for example, an English class. Let's say I'm going to take freshman composition. This 1113 is your course reference number, and you'll see that on your schedule at the beginning of every semester. It'll tell you exactly what class you're taking. It's almost like that class's thumbprint, right? Or their fingerprint. So only that class has that name and that course reference number. So you know you won't order the wrong book by mistake. But let's just say we wanted to look at freshman comp. And you can see here, there's 2 instructors for this class. So you want to pick the appropriate section. So let's say I'm taking it with Miss Looper, right? Great. Okay. I'm going to click on hers. And then it's going to show me what options I have to buy. So I can buy an ebook if I'd like, or I can buy a physical book. And you can buy it used or you can buy it new. Whichever is best for your budget or whichever your preference is fine. So all we would do to add this to our cart is press this big button right here. And like I said, I'm going to send you a video of this at the beginning of every semester so you know when it's time to order books and you don't have to worry. No stress, right, guys? Nice and easy. The other thing that we want to be aware of is something called Cengage. So Cengage basically is kind of like an app inside of certain classes. So you know how like on Facebook, when you go to take a quiz, you click on the quiz and it'll bring you to like another website. That's kind of what Cengage is. It's going to have a lot of your assignments and things like that that you'll need to complete, but it's just in a different area. So, when the time comes, we can go over how to access this, no big deal. But it's just another thing to be aware of because sometimes students will see Cengage and be like, what is this? I don't even know. I don't know how to use this, or they don't realize that they need it. And then they don't have it. They don't have access to it. And so they don't complete the assignments. We don't want that to be you. So make sure if you find that one of your courses has Cengage, that you get in touch with me so we can get this process completed, get it ordered for you so that you can be successful. So now, okay, we've gotten our financial aid situated. You met with your academic advisor, you ordered your books. Boom. Everything's good. Now the only thing we have to do is worry about actually starting class. So obviously, class starts on Monday. And what we're going to do is we're going to log in using Canvas. And Canvas is really easy to use. You'll actually access that every day to get into class. So to get into Canvas, all you need to do is go to the NEO homepage, and there is a link on the top right-hand side. It says Canvas right on it. You cannot miss it. Once you go in there, you'll see a link for your class, and then that's where all the work is going to be. So there's also an app that you can download, and they have it on the Apple Store and they have it on the Google Play Store. So when we're done with this, make sure you go download that. It's called Canvas Student. The icon looks just like this, and you can access your classes on the go. So this is really great. Like if you leave the house and need to get something done, you want to check your messages, you want to check your grades, things like that. It's just great to get things started and just access things on the go. It's really handy. Or, things happen, computers break, but we still want to get some work done. So using the Canvas app is a great way to still be able to do that without stressing about, oh my gosh, I need to buy a new computer or I need to find access to a computer. So that's kind of like your backup plan. It's already readily installed for you as your backup. The number one thing you want to do when you get in on Monday is look for your syllabus. So syllabus is usually linked right in the classroom. Right when you first get on the homepage, you'll see something that says syllabus. And it's going to have lots and lots of helpful information about the class itself. It will have your instructor's contact information, and it's going to have your due dates. So the great thing, and this is what I used to do, on the first day of class, I would print out my syllabus or I would look at my syllabus, and then I would put all of my important due dates right on my calendar. That just kind of helped me keep track. Like when I turned, I used a physical book just because it made me like more accountable. I had like an agenda. But when I turned that new week, I saw, assignment XYZ is due. And that helped me kind of stay on track. You can do the same thing with your phone. You just use the calendar app and you can put your due dates in there and have it remind you, a day before, a week before, whatever that preference is, in order to make sure that you are on top of those assignments. Because when you log in, it's going to look super overwhelming. But if we chip away at it little by little by little every day, all that time is going to add up. And then before you know it, you're going to be a pro and you're going to ace your first class. The other thing we want to get in the habit of doing is checking our NEO email and our class announcements. If you can install your NEO email on your phone, you can do that. Some students do that, and just to have it readily accessible. And same thing, you can access the class announcements via Canvas or the Canvas app. But we want to get in the habit of looking at announcements because your instructor will post important reminders, information that you're going to need, things like that. And you don't want to miss any of that information. And then, like I said before, most important thing is getting started early, completing assignments daily. If it's not every day, every other day. We can create a time management plan. Just let me know if you go in and you're like, oh my gosh, Kim, what am I going to do? I'm super stressed. That's okay. The first thing I want you to do is take a deep breath. And then the second thing I want you to do is pick up the phone and call me, because that is what I get paid to do, people, is help you. So don't be shy. Reach out if you need assistance or you have questions. It is no big deal at all. And then, you'll just, like I said, you'll crush it. It'll look really good and you'll be successful. So a lot of you are going to be in probably these 3 classes. If your schedule looks a little bit different, that's okay. But, these are pretty typical first semester classes. So freshman year experience, they call it FYE. is a great first class because it just kind of gets you adjusted to college life. It covers a whole bunch of different topics, and it's basically like an orientation. So it's great because it kind of just eases you into things. It makes sure you're comfortable, and you know what is expected of you as an NEO student. Improved reading is going to help you practice good reading skills. Let's face it, in college, you're going to have to read a lot. So, a class like this is really helpful because it teaches you to read for what you need. You don't need to read every single word in the textbook and scrutinize it. You're going to drive yourself crazy doing that. Read for what you need. This class is going to help you do that. And it's also going to help you figure out what works for you to remember the information when test time comes around. That's going to be super important. The last class on this list, like I said, yours might look a little different, but everybody, pretty much everyone, has to take basic composition. This class is, I can't even stress how important this class is. Writing is so important, not just in college, but in everyday life. So we're going to do a lot of it, let's be honest. And in this class, there's actually a final essay that determines whether or not you pass the class. So that's not to scare you, it's just to be real and let you know. And we're going to work on that together every step of the way. We actually host a webinar right before the final essay is due to help you feel more comfortable going into that final essay and making sure we pass it. So everybody mark your calendar. July 22nd is going to be that webinar. You guys heard it first, July 22nd. So make sure you put that in your calendar now. Take off work if you gotta. Make sure you have a babysitter for the kids so we can pass this class and ace this essay with no trouble. Okay. All right. Resources. So nobody wants to look like this girl, right? Nobody wants to scream, help me. So just remember, you've got a great built-in support system with me as your student success coordinator. But you can reach out to your instructor, Amy or Joy as your academic advisor, your enrollment counselor, and even your fellow classmates. We do have a Facebook group. So if you're not a member already, make sure you join. This is what it looks like. Hang on, it's going to load. This is what it looks like. You can see we have 37 members, so we're growing. But I just post lots of, fun things, exciting things, important info on here. So be sure to join. This is our group name, Pathway to Degree NEO. So if you need the link to access that and to join, if you have Facebook, definitely do that. I am happy to give that to you. It's a great way to network with other students, and you can ask questions and support one another. You guys are all starting class on Monday, so you're going to need support, and it's okay. You're going to need support, a month down the line. And it's good to talk to somebody who's going through the same things you are. So definitely don't be shy. Join that Facebook group. You don't even have to post anything at first if you don't want to. But, I just want you to be in the know. So if you can join that, if you use Facebook, I know a lot of people don't, but if you do and you want to join, you are more than welcome to, and we would love to have you. Next, if you guys are on your phone, just take a screenshot of this slide because it's going to be extremely helpful to you. If you're on a computer, you can take a picture of it, you can write it down, whatever you need to do. This has almost all of the important phone numbers and email addresses you're ever going to need. So you encounter any issues, you know exactly who to call and how to get in touch with them. So you'll see, the instructor, if you need help with something related to class, you'll want to find, look on your syllabus, but everybody else is pretty much on here. You see, we've got tutoring, the help desk, your academic advisor contact information, and then me. Hopefully you already have that saved, but if not, definitely save that number. We don't want to miss each other. My job is to call and check in with you every week, make sure that we're, everything's on the up and up. But if you need something, I don't want you to not have my number or not be able to contact me. If you need help, you can call, you can text, you can email, I can do like a Zoom meeting, whatever works best. I want to make sure that you know you can contact me for anything whatsoever. So I'm going to stop here for just like a minute, so you guys can like jot this down or take a screenshot or whatever you want to do. Once you do that, if you could just like raise your hand, that would be great. Then I'll be able to know everybody's done. So I'm just going to give you all a minute here. Perfect. I see lots of raised hands. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, cool. All right, awesome. So I'm going to give it like another like 10 seconds or so, just so everybody can get it jotted down. All right, everybody good? Looks like almost everybody. And if not, like I said before, I am going to do I did a recording of this, so I'm going to get it like all posted and everything. I'll post it on the Facebook page. I'll post it or I'll email it to you so you can always like play this back. And if you need this screen, if you didn't get it done, you can go on YouTube, like I'll send you the link and you can pause this and do whatever you need to do with it. So we're going to move forward since we are on a limited time schedule here, but if you need it, it will be accessible. Don't worry. I wanted to take some time. This is kind of the boring part of the presentation, but it's super important because it's, obviously we're all here to pass classes, right? You want to get your degree, but the Department of Education has requirements you need to meet. And so I wanted to go over these nice and early so you knew what the expectations were. So this is something called satisfactory academic progress, and you'll be evaluated at the end of every single semester to make sure you're hitting a 2.0 GPA. You're also going to be evaluated for something called PACE. Basically what that is, it's just making sure you're moving towards getting your degree, you're passing classes, you're earning credit. So all we would do to calculate PACE is divide your earned credits by your attempted credits. So for example, if you pass all your classes this term, which fingers crossed, I hope you do, you'll have 12 attempted credits and 12 earned credits. That would be 12 out of 12, which equals a 100% PACE. If you pass half of them, which is 6 credits, 6 out of 12 would be a 50% PACE. We want to maintain a 66.67% PACE at all times to avoid any issues. Really what this boils down to, you guys, if you get an 80% or better in every class, this is never, ever, ever going to be a problem for you. That's really what it boils down to. And it's important to go over this because if we, don't pass classes and that becomes a habit, you run the risk of losing your financial aid. So nobody wants that to happen, obviously. So again, 80% or better, we won't have any problems. There's nothing to be worried about. And you will be just fine. I don't want to scare you, so don't stress. But I also included here the Dean's Honor Roll and President's Honor Roll GPA requirements. So you have something to strive for. So 3.5 GPA or better will get you Dean's Honor Roll, and a 4.0 or better is going to get you the President's Honor Roll. So if you are a superstar, perfect student and get all A's, you will be on my President's Honor Roll list, and I will be super proud of you. So let's try and aim for that, but at least that 2.0 GPA and 66.67% PACE will keep you in the green, so we don't have to worry. Okay? The other part of this is something called maximum time frame. Really, this is just like a fancy way of saying you need to complete your degree in a certain amount of time that the Department of Education determines. So if you pass all your classes, this is not going to be a problem. If you fail a bunch of classes, that's where this comes into play. So I'm not going to go into like super duper detail with this just because it's a lot of info and we can get lost and like freaked out about this. But if you ever want to read up on it, it is in your student handbook. So all you would need to do is go to the NEO website and type in handbook in the search bar, and then you will get more information. Okay, so that's all that good stuff. Next, dropping classes. So let's be real. Sometimes people want to start a class and something comes up or they doubt themselves. The very first thing I want you to do is stop, take a deep breath, and call me. Okay? Because, and the reason I say this is because sometimes when you're in the moment, when something is going on, you only see what's in front of you, right? You only think about the here and now. I have no idea how I'm going to get out of this situation. I can't do class, right? I'm on the outside. So I can sometimes see things a little bit more clearly. And I went to college. I've done this just like you guys. So I went to college and I did my master's degree totally online. So I got like a little bit of both worlds. So I know how hard it is to balance all of this. And believe me, it is hard. You're going to have times where you're like, I have no idea how in the world I'm going to do this. And that's when we turn to each other, right? You turn to me, your fellow students on the Facebook group, whatever. You know, we are here to help you. But most importantly, first thing, stop and ask yourself these questions. So, is it past the refund deadline? That's an important one. Is this class a prerequisite for my next classes? So, for example, you guys, a lot of you will take basic composition. That's going to be your first class. You need that to get into freshman composition. So if we drop basic composition, then we're going to have to go and adjust your whole next term schedule because you can't take freshman composition without basic composition. So that's something to think about. Why do I really want to drop this class? So is it really hard? Have you tried tutoring? Like those are the things we're going to talk about together. Will this impact my financial aid? That is a big one. People don't think about this because financial aid is confusing. I was spoiled. My mommy did my financial aid. So I don't know anything about it. And so I want you to be empowered and I want you to be able to make an informed decision. So in that moment, I might tell you, go talk to financial aid, see how dropping this class is going to affect you. We don't want you to drop the class, but ultimately, if that's what happens, if that is truly the best option for you, then we will figure it out. But I want you to know what you're up against first before you even think about doing that. And last but not least, have I talked to my student success coordinator about this yet? If you have not talked to me, do not drop because I am here to help you. And, I want to do what's best for you. And if that means dropping the class, okay, fine. Whatever we need to do to make sure that you're set up for success. But I want you to make an informed decision. If you can't call, text me. If you can't text me, email me. If you can't email me, I don't know, send a carrier pigeon. I don't care. You get the point. If I don't know what's going on, I can't help you. And I don't want you to make a decision that's going to hurt you financially or hurt you academically. So make sure if you're thinking about dropping a class, call me. We will talk about it. I promise, promise, promise. I will not be mad. I am always here to support you. I might push you and say, okay, but did you think about this? Did we try this? Because I'll always be that person to try and get you through the classes while also deal with whatever goes on. I get it. You guys are not just students. Like, this is not your life. It's a piece of your life. Your moms and dads, your family members, your workers, whatever it is. I know school is a big part of your life, and we had to kind of figure out how all those puzzle pieces fit together. So I'm here to help you. Please, please, please do not hesitate to call, email, text, Zoom, whatever. You get the point. Almost done here. So before we end the presentation, I just wanted to leave you with this quote and this picture. So the quote says, it's from Colin Powell, it says, "Success is the result of perfection, hard work, learning from failure, loyalty, and persistence." I think that that's really important because as students, like we talked about, there's going to be times where you encounter a really tough class or a really tough assignment. And I don't want you to let that stop you. I don't want that to define you, right? We can get through it. I remember very well an instructor, I had a D in his class, and I have never gotten a D in my life, and that was so scary for me. And I went to his office and I said, "What is this? I don't get D's. What's happening here? And he pushed me. He gave me a lot of pushback and it was frustrating. But now, looking back on that, I see what he was trying to do. He was trying to motivate me and show me that I could do it. I just had to keep working at it. And so sometimes that is the name of the game. Just keep on pushing, do what we can do. Whatever resources we need to set you up with, let's do it. We've got tutoring, like I said before, you've got your instructor, really any and every tool you can possibly think of under the sun. We have it and we want you to be successful. And so we want to try those things. The reason I included the picture is because a lot of the time, and I don't know if this is true of anybody else, but I do this where I play the comparison game. I look at the person next to me and I'm like, they're doing really, really well, and I'm not. Why? I did this yesterday at the gym. I looked at my husband's treadmill and he was going faster than me. He was going at a higher incline and he was just moving and grooving, burning his calories. The comparison game is the root of all evil. I hate it. I tell you, it is so bad. And we can't compare because the thing is, success, I know this sounds corny, but success really is an iceberg. Like you see just this, right? Just success. You see the person next to you doing really well. But what you're not seeing is all this other stuff going into it. There are times where they are just like you, where they're really working hard. They have to give up things, time with family, things like that to make time for school. Keeping with it, persistence, that is important. Not giving up, even though you encounter an obstacle, right? So you got to think about, even though you're seeing that person next to you being successful, all of this stuff happens too, okay? And I left you with that. I think that that's important because nobody is born just a superstar at everything, right? Like we talked about this at the beginning. Everybody starts at zero. We all have to learn and try and sometimes fail, and that's okay. I don't want you to see, where you don't necessarily get an assignment or something and you're just like, oh, forget it. I give up. I don't want that for you. I want you to call me and let's figure out what we can do to get you to pass or to get you through that assignment or to get you through that day or that minute, whatever it takes. But like I said before, if I don't know what's going on, I cannot help you. So please, please, please don't be shy. That is the moral of this presentation. But that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to open it up for questions now. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to unmute your microphone and just go ahead and talk and let me know.
Yeah, I had a question. As far as like your logos and everything for like our college and everything like that, where would we be able to buy like apparel for our logos? Because I actually mess with the logo a lot.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, I don't know if you can like use the logo for like your own apparel, but I know
But I
they
mean,
have
like,
stuff
yeah,
in like the bookstore.
okay.
Yeah,
Nah,
so
cause
you can
I
go
like
right
the
on that
logo. I
bookstore.
wanted to see if they had like T-shirts or something like jackets with that logo. Because I mean, I would like to be wearing it around if I
Yeah,
do go to
get some
college.
swag. I love it. Yeah, I have, hold on, I'll show you. This is embarrassing. I got this when I graduated my master's program. It's a little pom
I like,
pom.
yeah, I mess with
So,
the colors though. That's why I've been showing it off at work a lot lately.
hey, there you go. Yeah, so check out the bookstore. There should be all kinds of stuff on there. I know sometimes they even do like sales and stuff. Like if you order from the bookstore, like you can get like 20% off or something like that. So check that out.
Sound great. Appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure. What other questions we got? Anybody?
Yes, I have a question. So do we don't have to like check in for a time or anything like that. We just kind of do it when we have the time and not working, things like that.
That's a great question. So earlier when we were talking about the syllabus, um, they'll have usually on there, they're going to have the due dates. So you can pretty much work at your own pace with respect to those due dates. So kind of like when you were in high school, like they would tell you, okay, like the class closes on the 7th, right? So I have 21 assignments to do by the 7th. How many do I need to do a day to get it done? That kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yes, that I just didn't know if, because we're not face to face. We don't have to sit in and be here at a certain time or anything like that. So we
Oh,
just,
like for class, you mean?
right, right. We just wanted
Yeah,
to.
so that's a great question. So I don't believe so. Your syllabus will tell you more information about that. I believe since you're fully online, you shouldn't have to. But your syllabus will have for sure the answers.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Any other questions? Don't be shy. I know it's a lot of information. You probably are just like, oh my gosh, I'm overloaded. So I don't even know what questions to ask.
Oh yeah, like whenever you go graduate out of college and say like you become like a senior or you become like a you get a major on it. Would do they even have jackets like Leatherman for like the logos and everything too, or anything like that?
I'm not sure. But how about this? When you get close to graduating, let me know because then I
Uh,
will advertise that to other people.
Most definitely. Okay then.
All right. But anybody else, anything else you're nervous about, have questions about, concerns, whatever. Now's the time. I promise. No judgment. All right. Well, I think that that's going to do it for us today. I'm going to stay in here for a couple more minutes. I'm just going to mute my microphone for now. But if you have any questions and you want to hang back, you totally can. Otherwise, you guys are free to go. And best of luck on Monday. Call me if you think of anything, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye,
Okay,
everybody.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Okay, I'm kind of new to all this, so it's kind of like, you know,
That's okay. We
nerve
all are. It's all good.
wracking. Um, so how many hours a day do you think we should spend on school? Like I was thinking like 4 to 5 hours maybe, but I know you said there's like one class and it has like 12 assignments. That's when a class is due like on a certain day or whatever. And I know they're like based on like weeks, right? Like a week.
Yeah. Yeah. So everything is going to be in a week by week format. So, I mean, I would say on average, students spend around 10 to 12 hours per class per week.
Okay.
So if you break that down, that's like, if you have two classes, that's 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
Um, but it all depends on the class and it all depends on your comfort level too, right? Like if you're really good at using the computer, then it might be quick for you to go through and just complete all your assignments, right? Some classes are going to have more assignments or more difficult assignments where it's going to take longer. Uh, but yeah, it just kind of depends. And it's really a lot of trial and error, to be honest. So you just got to find what works for you. And like I said, we can work on that together. Definitely don't be worried about that. I mean, time management is something everybody struggles with, even outside of college. So, you know,
Right.
it's all a work in progress. It's okay.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
I have another one.
Sure.
So what happens like this week I work outside, and so like this week I've had a bunch of extra time because it's raining here.
Mhm.
Can I work ahead? What happened? Can I finish early? Is that, or am I stuck to the deadlines?
That's a good question. So I would say it probably depends on your instructor. You can always message them. They're in Canvas. There's an area where you can message your instructor. And you can always shoot them a message and say, hey, I've got a lot of extra time this week. I want to get some extra work done. Can I work ahead? Some classes, it's kind of just depends. Like some classes will have it open so that the entire class is open right at the beginning. Some classes open week by week. So it just kind of depends. I would say look on your syllabus, see if there's anything like policy related that says about working ahead or anything like that. But if you don't see it, ask your instructor.
Okay, yeah, I printed out the syllabus for basic composition, and
Nice.
it didn't leave any kind of, didn't say anything about that. So I didn't know if it was, just something that I could do. So that's going to be basically class determined. teacher
Yeah.
instructor determined?
Yeah, probably, depending on the class itself and depending on the instructor. But I appreciate that you are like, I'm gonna go in and work ahead. Like, I love
Well, if
that.
you've had, I have like this week, I've just had a lot of extra time, and instead of playing on my phone, and I can do something more productive,
Yeah,
when
there
I
you
do
go.
have.
That's true. Well, yeah,
So,
definitely message your instructor and ask them. I mean, the worst they can say is no, you have to work week by week. And then you say, okay, well, let me see what I can
okay,
do. Maybe you can read ahead or something like that just
right.
to keep your mind occupied. But I think that's a great question.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. What else you guys got?
So like I've been having like problems like with as far as like my FAFSA. I've done everything. But there's like a part on there. Hold on, baby. It's like a unsubsidized loan and a subsidized loan. It says I have to accept those. I've done like the thing already like a lot of times, but it keeps saying that it's not turned in yet. So I don't
Hmm.
know how to fix that.
Okay. So, do you know who your enrollment counselor is?
Yeah, I think it's Jennifer.
Okay, yeah. So I would touch base with Jen just because, like, I would say she's probably going to be your subject matter expert when it comes to anything related to finance.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
That was another thing, something related to that. I don't, since I just graduated, I don't have any proof of graduation. I filled out the form, but it asked for another piece of information, like my picture of my diploma, things like that. And I don't have any of that to be able to get my financial aid except my awards. So I don't know what I need to do with that.
Yeah, that's a great question. So normally what happens, I believe, once you graduate, we actually will send a copy of your official transcript right to NEO. But you can always check with your enrollment counselor to make sure that that was done so that you don't run into any issues.
Okay, so I can call her tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think mine is Jen too. So I can call her tomorrow and see, because it became official on Monday, but nothing has been submitted yet. So I
Okay.
don't know. That's why I was just kind of curious as to what, did I need to do something else?
Yeah, for sure. That's a great question. So I would touch base with Jen just to confirm, make sure all of our ducks are in a row here.
Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Anything else?
Yes, so once you finish the whole diploma thing and everything, do you happen to know what's going on with the diplomas? Like, I still haven't gotten mine, and I like graduated like a month, ago, or a month and a half ago.
Like with the high
And
school diploma, you mean?
yes.
Yeah, so there was a delay at the printer. Actually here, I'm gonna stop recording this, you guys. Since we're basically done anyway. But there was a delay at the printer.